40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim. Forty Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim. Forty Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to tonight's coverage of the Area 51 Thursday Truck Series here on Green White Checker TV. We've got an exciting race planned for you tonight here at Echo Park Speedway in Atlanta, Georgia. 90 laps will be the scheduled distance at this 1.5-mile oval. And it'll be a little bit of a nod, throwback to all the Super Speedway stuff we've done here in the past. So throwing a few of those in here throughout the season, and looking forward to get this one kicked off here tonight. Here, for the most part, one voice in the booth tonight, myself, Boomer Logan. But we do have someone who wants to chime in and say hi just before everything gets going, and that is going to be the driver of, actually, it looks like the 76 truck I have in Discord here, or in SDK here. It's Mr. Gael Brooks. How are you doing tonight?
I am doing well. Appreciate you hopping on here to running the show tonight. Yeah, I think Brandon's gonna try to pop in time. We'll have to double check on that one. But yeah, no, say since you're able to run, I was like, yeah, let me. And honestly, I forgot it was gonna be Atlanta, but I've been wanting to run this oval series with these guys, so I'm excited to get back on track with these guys. And I say if it was a track other than Atlanta, I'd be like, yeah, I might have a decent shot to pull something off here, but we know what these guys are able to do, so it might not be as easy tonight.
Yeah, we'll see. It'll definitely be a good time. I know, obviously, like we said, this is kind of the bread and butter of what we've done here at Area 51 for so long. Coming back to some of the super speedway or drafting or plate tracks or whatever you want to call them, but we're definitely looking forward to getting this one kicked off and get started here. Looks like most of our trucks are just about ready to get on track. You see a couple of them already taking to the grid here. And while we do that, we'll take our opportunity to go through that starting lineup, and you'll see Vicente Guerrero is going to grab that pole position just inside, or just out, yeah, inside of Austin McCarthy for row number 1. Row number 2, it's going to be two Chevrolets side by side. Jack Walls gets the nod over Alec Correa, starting side by side row number 2. Third row is going to be Justin Davis, P5, with Dean Wilkinson of TW Motorsports to his outside in that 55 Dr. Pepper machine. Row number 4, Gabe Butler in the Guinness Chevrolet inside of Hayden Davis in the number 19 Cummins Ram. Row number 5 and the rest of your top 10 is going to be Bud Steele starting alongside Charles Johnson in the number 9 Chevrolet. Ford and Chevy side by side there. Row number 6, we've got Everett Lane and Cole Cannon, couple Chevrolets sharing row number 6, 11th, and 12th to start for tonight. Row 7, we're going to have Bob Fitzgerald and Josh Previtt side by side. Chevy and a Ram. As we get into row number 8 here, it's going to be Eric Laurie and Jonathan Ledger in that number 28 Ram. Few more names to roll off of the grid here. Gael Brooks in that Unical 76, beautiful looking Ford F-150, and Paul Turner to his outside. And the last row of the grid is going to be Robert Rock starting in P19 as Vicente is going to lead us around. Should be getting ready to go green next time by here. As you see, the lights are already off on the pace car. Gael, any final thoughts before you take this green flag here?
Yeah, just hoping to keep it clean and, as I just kind of get comfortable with everything, and yeah, do some relearning again on the fly because it's been a little while for me, getting rusty.
Well, hopefully you get a chance to knock that rust off pretty quickly. And do you need me to throw you in any of the chats below, or you got yourself?
I got it, sir.
Awesome.
But yeah, feel free to grab me if you need anything.
Yeah, will do. Appreciate it. You have a good night, buddy, and good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Awesome. Now my boss is gone. I can relax a little bit. No, just kidding. Gael's a good dude. Love having him around, and looking forward to seeing him see what he could do tonight here. Lap number 1 just about to get underway here. Vicente Guerrero, Austin McCarthy side by side. Pace car is going to dive onto pit road, and we are going to be green flag in the air and waving for Thursday night in the Oval Series here on Green White Checker TV. 2x2 through 1 and 2 as the 41 takes the lead. The 83 is actually going to get clear of that outside lane. Really good restart, or start I should say, for the inside lane. That outside lane really didn't get going too well. The 99 and the 85 not super well connected. And now you can almost see the 10 just about halfway clear, at least, with the 99 at his quarter panel. The 83 is going to say, hey, I'm going to jump to the high side here, see if he can get a lap lead or a bonus point early on, just like Vicente Guerrero just did by leading that first lap there. Going to be a quick one. The laps here run really quickly as of 2022 when they repaved the speedway to increase the banking. Obviously, we mentioned it kind of races more like a plate track or super speedway, or obviously whatever you want to call it. I grew up calling them restrictor plate races. Obviously, they call them drafting tracks these days, and looks like Jack Walls is actually going to get the bonus point there for a lap lead that second time by. But obviously, these guys are just about full throttle here now with the increased banking after the repave from a couple years ago. And we've seen some really great racing on this speedway since the reconfiguration here. And that has been obviously in the real world, but also now released in iRacing, as the 83 is going to get down to the bottom and take over that race lead and control for now. The 99 back up to the lead of the outside lane. They're getting a push from the 85. as we continue on working on lap number 4 already. Working about 30-second, just under 31-second laps here. Fastest lap that last time by, actually, Robert Rock at the back of the field, 30.84. And I'm sure those times will continue to slowly creep down as the night goes on. And, well, mostly when they have fresh tires, because we do know that that will come into play just a little bit here, at least way more than you would see at other restrictor plate style racetracks, including Daytona, Talladega, iRacing Super Speedway that we do from time to time as well in the Super Speedway series. Running obviously Thursday nights this year, this season 2 for 2026. Running an oval style series, but still had the season opener at Talladega, and coming here to Atlanta after a couple 1.5 mile ovals. So changing up a little bit, and but getting back to like I said, some of the roots of Super Speedway racing here, and it's kind of settled down a little bit here. Jack Walls has lost a little bit of ground there on the outside lane, as well as Austin McCarthy. The inside lane really prevailing right now. The 41, the 10, the 88, the 6, and the 24. All lined up there on that inside row, nose to tail, broken away from that outside lane at the moment. And the 28 of Ledger is the first truck that has a contender to his outside. And they are getting a little squirrely on the back straightaway, almost going, 3 wide there for a second. The 99 peaks outside and then settles back in. You see the 9 pushing the rear bumper of the 28 at the moment. And other than a little bit of snaking left to right, for the most part they're single file there. The 28 actually is going to jump to that high side now, and he's going to try and see what he can do to lead that line. Hasn't been super successful so far, as we've seen the 99 back up a little bit at the start, and then the 83 gets a chance to get up to the top, gets the lead, and could be intentional to drop back and just kind of ride it out from the back, but lost a little bit of ground. And Mr. Guerrero here is obviously former champion in the Super Speedway ranks here at Area 51, knows exactly what he needs to be doing at the front of this field. Justin Davis there just behind him, Gabe Butler, prolific winner and one of our longest standing veterans in that number 88 machine, always looking to do well here at these Super Speedways. Bud Steele as well. I think he's the I don't know for sure, I can't remember exactly, but he's pretty close to the most starts of any active driver, if not the most. So Bud obviously being one of the founding members here, and a big part of how this all came to be. He is sitting there solidly in that 4th place at the moment. You see a move there, as it looks like Josh Previtt's going to try and get up to that top lane. For now settling in the bottom, but he's going to take a run here now. Gets the run off the bumper of the 9, and he's going to have that 28 to go with him to the high side. And they're going to try and see what they can do to reform that line. They've got 2 Dodge Rams on, well, I guess it's just Ram, excuse me. But they are running high on that, high, wide, and handsome on that outside lane. A couple of black and yellow trucks there for the 81, the 28, and the 83. Going to try and follow them on through and see what they can do here. Working on lap number 10 of 90 right now. Most of them have led by Vicente Guerrero, been led by him. Obviously, Jack Wells grabbed a bonus point for himself for leading lap number 2, but since then it has been all Vicente here with the help of Justin Davis and Gabe Butler in that top 3 at the moment. And from what we're hearing, it sounds like it's going to be a pretty simple 2-stop race on fuel strategy. Most of the fuel runs that we've heard of in practice sounds like it's going to be somewhere in the 33, 34, 35 lap range. Obviously, those who are leading their respective lanes inside and outside might be burning a little bit more fuel than the rest of the field, who are able to take advantage of that draft and not have to hold that throttle all the way wide open all the way around the track. And for now, Vicente getting the worst fuel mileage, but is in control of the race, which is ever so important and should be putting him in a position to try and control it early on. No real challengers, we've mentioned, really since the 99 and the 83 backed off a little bit. There's not been anybody able or willing, potentially, maybe both, to form that outside lane. You could see the 9 of Johnson is trying to do whatever he can to get that started there. He does have Josh Previtt and the 28 of Jonathan Ledger seeing what they can do, but so far it seems like it's fairly easy going, fairly quiet. No one's really pushing too hard. A little bit further on back, there's a little bit of a separation back to Eric Laurie. Behind him is Bob Fitzgerald in that number 76 Unical F-150 of Gael Brooks. Robert Rock is hanging out back here, so is Paul Turner. And then actually we noticed, just noticing now, Cole Cannon has dropped off of the pace here and has lost the draft. He's running about a second a lap slower than our leaders, so going to take a little while for the leaders to catch back up to him and put him a lap down, but it will be interesting to see where he nets out in this fuel cycle. And actually we see it now. It looks like this group here is having a little bit tougher time hanging with that lead pack, because they're now about 1.6 seconds back, and they are dropping off of those leaders. So Bob Fitzgerald trying to take the high lane almost, and not sure if he's maybe just trying to let Gael Brooks through so he can get a chance to push that 071, but they're definitely going to have to get more organized than this if they're going to want to stay with that lead draft. As of right now, they are losing quite a bit of time now, 2.4 seconds off the rear bumper of Josh Previtt, who has kind of hung on to the tail end of this lead draft after falling back with the 28 and the 83 as well. At the front, it's the 41, the 10, and the 88 still, though we do see the 99 of McCarthy working that high side, and he does have the 55 of Dean Wilkinson in tow. That should be two of the TW Motorsports teammates there, working together, seeing what they can do. And Dean Wilkinson's going to say, nah, you know what, honestly, I think I'm good. I'm just going to drop back down to the bottom here. He's going to let his teammate in, and we're going to go back to single file for the first 7 or 8 trucks here. And Jonathan Ledger is going to be kind of working that high side just outside of Hayden Davis. He does have the 85 on his rear bumper. Now he doesn't. 85 drops to the bottom, and everyone just kind of settling out, you know, taking it easy, taking stock of what they got going on. We'll keep an eye on this second pack. They're a little more organized here, as you see the 76 of Gael Brooks is better connected to the rear bumper of that 071, trying to do what they can to push themselves back up. They are, last lap, they were about 0.8 of a second slower than the leaders, and that definitely, part of that, it could also potentially be them trying to be multiple lanes wide here. Doesn't usually bode well for the draft. If you have a 5-truck pack compared to a larger pack of when you're by yourself, or a larger pack of more trucks, you really need to be organized. The 5-pack or less has to be really organized to be pushing nose to tail, and with them being side by side like this, they are losing a lot of time, about a second a lap to the leaders. And honestly, that last time by, Cole Cannon was almost just as fast as Robert Rock was at being a single car versus a 5-car group. So hopefully these guys can get it figured out, get single filed, and have an opportunity to push towards the front. But for now, they are bleeding a lot of time, as now they are 6 seconds off the rear bumper of the tail end of this lead draft, which is held by Jack Walls and Josh Previtt side by side. Vicente continues to click off laps led, working on lap number 19 here, so we're just about 2/3 of the way through this first fuel run. You can see these trucks getting a little bit more difficult to handle. As you enter the corners, drivers are starting to lift a little bit more. You can't hold it wide open all the way through a pit cycle. It's not quite what it was when this track first came to the iRacing service, when you could take 4 tires and it be the absolute dream as far as a difference between what you're experiencing from fresh to tire wear. An old set of tires really made a huge difference. A lot of fall off, not nearly as prevalent as it used to be, but you can see a difference in the times. Vicente ran a 30.86 as his best lap. His last lap was a 31.18, so 3 to 4 tenths of a second slower, which is noticeable, but not a ton. Not nearly as much tire fall off as we'd seen in the past, and indicative of Super Speedway racing, we may see more of the 2-tire left side tire option for pit stops, mostly from the standpoint of if you take left side tires in, obviously factoring in the real world in racing, left side tires, you don't have to go all the way around the truck to service that side. That's the side that's typically closest to pit road or the pit wall, and you get a chance to change those tires without with a little bit less time. So typically the amount of fuel that you're putting in is greater than the amount of time it takes to put those set of left side tires on. Now, if you take right side tires, that does take a little bit longer. Obviously, it accounts for the pit crew, obviously virtually, but it accounts for the pit crew having to jump around to the outside or the right side of the truck and going all the way around, and then taking a little bit extra time there. But I'm going to see more of that strategy, just kind of to highlight that left side tires are potentially going to be pretty important here. It gives you a little bit more grip than just not taking tires at all, and again, with no time penalty being on the left side of the truck, it's not too bad. So, but yeah, 23, 24 now working on, and these guys are going to be coming probably in the next 10 laps or so. We see Alec Correa in the 85 trying to get something going on that high side. He has picked up the 81 and the 28. And they're really, definitely props to Jonathan and Josh here. Really, two of the only guys that have tried to consistently make that high lane work. Obviously, they're not really pushing urgently at the moment, but they're just trying to see what they can do, see if they can gain any ground. There's not a huge difference, but if you look at the tower, you can see that Jack Walls, the tail end of this lead pack, is about a second behind our leader, Vicente Guerrero, and that second can mean a huge difference as far as where you come off of pit road. Obviously, there's differences in timing of how well your execution is getting onto pit road and leaving pit road. The faster you can do that, obviously, the better. The pit stop time is fairly randomly generated, so really there's not much you can do there, but maximizing your speed on pit road, also something very important to be doing. So there's things that you can maximize as much as you can, but the biggest thing to highlight is that draft. The effect of a draft typically takes when you are within 1 second of the car in front of you. If you are a second or closer, then you should be able to grab the benefits of that draft to allow you to catch up to that car ahead of you. If you're any further than that, then that's when bad things can happen, and you do have the potential of losing the lead draft, as we saw with the second group back here. They do look a little better organized at this time, and looks like they're running about lap times about consistent with the leaders, but unfortunately they bled about almost 8 seconds. Actually 9 seconds as you look at it on the tower. The 7.7 to the rear bumper of Jack Walls, but on the tower, obviously Robert Rock about 9 seconds behind our leader. So losing that draft is such a big deal, and you can see everyone in the back here trying to jockey for position. Most are starting to settle in single file, the 28 and the 81. Curious to see how much longer they hang on to the high side, or if they do get to the bottom and stay down for now, as again pit stops are going to be looming here any minute now. Vicente Guerrero doing a really good job controlling this race. As we mentioned, he has led every lap except for the one led by Jack Walls. So Jack Walls grabbing that so important bonus point for the championship here. And the 41 of Vicente trying to do what he can to put his name in the hat for the most laps led for the bonuses that come with that for the night. And he'll be pretty close to being at least 1/3 of the way led. So he doesn't need too many more laps led in order to cement himself as the lap leader for the evening, as the 10 and the 88, as well as the 6 and the 24, have just been very comfortable riding behind him there in that top 5. Austin McCarthy settling out in the 6th position now, just in front of teammate Dean Wilkinson and Charles Johnson in the number 9 machine, which is in 8th place. Alec Correa in 9th, and then Hayden Davis there in 10th. Jack Walls, Jonathan Ledger, and Josh Previtt, the rest of your drivers in the lead pack. And we go back about 8-9 seconds off the lead there. It's Robert Rock, Eric Laurie, Guile Brooks, Bob Fitzgerald, and Paul Turner. And then Cole Cannon about 25 seconds or so behind the leaders. So just about before this pit cycle will happen, he should be caught by those leaders, and it'll be most likely that he should be able to hold on to the lead lap, depending how this how this pit stop cycle happens. And thought for a second the 41 might be dipping down to come down to pit road, and he is going to be doing that. Oh, a lonely man on pit road, though, as the 41 is the only truck coming in. He spent all that time leading, unfortunately burning more fuel than everyone else. I don't believe he's running with any teammates for tonight, so that can make it a little bit tougher when you are working on your own, but we'll see what he can do. He's obviously been up front and able to put his truck in a good position. He'll have to be very, very solid in his execution of the in and out lap here, and looks like we're going to have just a few more takers on this next lap. The 10, the 99 are going to come down pit road. It looks like the the 85 in, so is Ledger and Previtt, Robert Rock, and this crew is going to be coming down pit road as well. So we're going to see quite a few of those drivers getting down on the pit road. Ooh, a little bit of contact between the 85 and the 99. He makes contact with the inside wall. The 81 makes contact with the 85 and goes around. Oh, man, that is a tough break for those guys on under green flag conditions, as that second group has already caught up to them and is going to be advantageous for those guys. But we're going to see where the rest of these guys net out. Dean Wilkinson does now have the lead, and he is going to stay out on the track with the 9 of Charles Johnson. Gabe Butler and Bud Steele, Everett Lane are all going to come down pit road here, and we'll see if they can get a little slide there for the 6. Hopefully no pit road speeding penalties, but we'll keep an eye on it. The 55 and the 9 going to be going one more lap than everybody else, and should see them come down pit road now. Entry in just before turn 3 there. You see the green light to the right of your screen, and they're going to maximize everything they can on this apron, try to get down to pit road speeds and get service done to these trucks. For the first time tonight, lap 34, pretty good margin for the 9 and the 55. Checking in, we see Vicente Guerrero does have the help of Justin Davis at the moment, so that does bode well for him to try and catch up to this lead pack. And we'll see just ahead of him, Jack Walls is going to be coming out of pit road, Hayden Davis just ahead, then Bud Steele, Everett Lane, Gabe Butler. Dean Wilkinson and Charles Johnson are still leading, as obviously they are on pit road, and they are should be coming off about the same time. And we do actually see a lot of trucks taking all 4 tires. So most of the stops you've seen so far have been 4 tires and fuel. Everett Lane is going to be just behind the 88 of Gabe Butler, and this will be your lead pack most likely. We'll see where Dean Wilkinson and Charles Johnson net out, but thankfully for Vicente Guerrero, he is in this pack of what will be 5 trucks once the 88 is caught up here, or at least the 24 is caught up to the 88. And there you see the 55 and the 9. They are going to be slower to get back up to speed. It could be an issue for them to catch and hold on to this lead draft, but they do have Hayden Davis a little bit further back. It might be enough for them to bridge this gap, and it does seem likely, but that gap is growing between Dean Wilkinson and Vicente Guerrero now, so it is going to be most likely a 3-pack of trucks here. They may be caught by Jack Walls, Josh Previtt, Jonathan Ledger, so that group might have a chance to catch up and become that second pack on track. You'll have to go another 5 seconds back. You're going to find Robert Rock. Then you'll find Gael Brooks, Bob Fitzgerald, and Paul Turner. And then, so one thing to note, we see some penalties under the green flag conditions here. Austin McCarthy with a 40-second stop and hold for either the unsafe pit entry or speeding. Eric Laurie also involved in that, and then Alec Correa involved as well. So those guys are going to be behind the 8 ball and are at least 1 lap down, definitely in danger of going 2 laps down for sure. So as it settles out, we're going to see Cole Cannon get lapped by our leaders here, so he'll actually be the first truck 1 lap down at the moment. Austin McCarthy is just behind him there and is... actually, take it back. Austin McCarthy and Eric Laurie are 1 lap down, in danger of going 2 down. Alec Correa is 5 seconds behind them, in danger of going 2 down. Cole Cannon is 1 down, but he'll be the first truck 1 lap down. He has held on to this lead draft here, which includes Gabe Butler, Everett Lane, Bud Steele, Justin Davis, Vicente Guerrero, and then the 801 of Cole. You'll go back about 1.9 seconds, and it looks like the gap is fairly stable, but we do have the 55, the 9, and the 19. They may have an opportunity here to get back up to this lead. Yeah, they are all over the lap times of Gabe Butler. Just 0.03 of a second separating Dean Wilkinson and Gabe Butler's lap time that last time by, and should be getting them closer, inching closer to joining that pack. For Jack Walls and this pack back here with Josh Previtt, Jonathan Ledger, they're running about the same lap time still too, so they've got about a 2-second gap up to Hayden Davis, Dean Wilkinson has about a two-second gap up to Vicente Guerrero, so it'll be a tough task for these guys to close that over the next 20, 25 laps or so as we get into this second green flag stint here. And obviously Robert Rock, Guile Brooks, and that pack has pretty well caught back up to each other, and they are going to be about 12 seconds off the lead now. They're going to be in a little bit tougher position for them to, even if they run good laps, they'll be in a tougher position, obviously, to hold on to that lead. But Gabe Butler now doing what he can to lead as many laps in this middle segment so far. Everett Lane, Bud Steele, Justin Davis, Vicente, your top 5 at the moment, and the 5 in contention in this lead draft. Working on lap number 41 at the moment, so a bit of a mixed bag as far as fuel went. One of the things that we'll have to keep an eye on for Vicente is he came on lap 31. In this lead pack, we have Justin Davis, who came at lap 32, and thankfully the 41 was able to link up with that 10 and get drafting with him early, and that helped him hang on to this lead pack. The rest there, Gabe Butler, Everett Lane, Bud Steele, all pitted on lap 33. A little bit further, or a little bit later. The latest to pit were Charles Johnson and Dean Wilkinson, who do have Hayden Davis with them as well, and that gap is still about 2 seconds, maybe 2.2 seconds from Vicente Guerrero back to Charles Johnson. To the leaders, it's about 2.6 seconds from Gabe Butler to Johnson, and that gap is fairly stable. The one thing we're looking at now actually is Jack Walls. He's only about 1.53 and that seconds behind Hayden Davis, and that gap is absolutely closing. So that could bode well for them for now. If the gap between Johnson and Guerrero can maintain by the time Jack Walls and Josh Previtt get up to Charles Johnson, Dean Wilkinson, and Hayden Davis, they may have a better opportunity to have a bigger pack. At that point, they'll have an equal-sized pack as leaders and can continue to maintain, potentially do what they can to push and help themselves out. Obviously, that 55 of Dean Wilkinson doing everything he can at the moment to push the 9 of Charles Johnson without doing any damage with overheating that truck. You see him every once in a while. He'll stick the nose out to the side, either to the left or the right, just trying to get some fresh air into the intake and get a chance to get some cooler temperatures to get that into the radiator to get the coolant for the engine cooled down and calm those engine temps. So I just see one driver coming down pit road, and it's Alec Correa, and looks like he is a little slow at the moment, potentially. Now, that might just be pit road speeds, but he's going to come down here, most likely a very unscheduled stop. Last time he pitted was around lap 32, 33. Can't see exactly anymore, but he's just going to get into a pit stall here, and it looks like he's going to have an early exit from the session, unfortunately, so that will do it for Alec Correa. He's going to jump back to his pit stall and then likely be done for the night, as at least as we're guessing. So potentially the first retiree for the night, Gabe Butler, Everett Lane, Bud Steele, Justin Davis, Vicente Guerrero, still your top 5. Jack Walls is Hayden Davis Jack Walls is 1.3 seconds behind Hayden Davis, and that gap is absolutely closing, so that will help these guys get up to this second pack, see what they can do, and get back up to the lead. The gap from Robert Rock to the third pack has stabilized about 7.8 seconds, still a total of 12.5 behind the leaders here, and we're just past the halfway. Gabe Butler still continuing to click off lap sled. He's got about 13 of them in his pocket for now, and we will see how it goes from here, as we are probably about 13 laps, now 12, away from the fuel window opening to the end. And looking at pit stop times from the last one, it looks like just about everybody taking 4 fresh Goodyear tires and a full tank of fuel. Josh Previtt, Jonathan Ledger taking about 2.5 to 3 seconds less on their pit stop, potentially right side tires only or left side tires only, full fuel for sure. And then everybody else in the field pretty much looks like they were around 4 tires, or took 4 tires for their green flag pit stop there. So lap number 49, it'll be 50 next time by. We're getting closer and closer to counting these laps down, and they click off oh so fast as they happen once every 30 to 31 seconds here at the newly configured Echo Park Speedway, the artist formerly known as Atlanta Motor Speedway in Hampton, Georgia. So it is this 5-pack here, and we're keeping an eye on the other groups as well. Still about a 2.7 gap from the tail end of this lead pack in Vicente Guerrero to Charles Johnson. One thing that's helping a little bit, Colt Cannon is a little bit further back off of the rear bumper of Vicente Guerrero. At some point that could be beneficial to Charles Johnson to try and sneak a little bit of air off of the or a little bit of draft off of that rear bumper of the 801. For now, I don't think it's really doing much, if at all, though we do see Jack Wallace. He's going to be coming with a huge head of steam. He is within 0.7 of a second, and he is absolutely gaining on Hayden Davis here. It'll be curious to see if the 83 is going to elect to take this run to the high side, or if he's just going to get down single file and work with these other 3 trucks here. And I think the bigger benefit will be if they can all work single file together, or it could be an opportunity for one of them to jump to the lead if they need. But I think it's going to be more advantageous to be single file, and obviously Dean Wilkinson's doing quite a bit of work to push that 9 truck, and they should have a little bit easier time doing that now that they have this 6-car pack here. And the 83 is just going to tuck in behind the rear bumper of that 19 for the moment. And they are going to settle on in. The 28 is going to be side by side with the 81 further on back, which isn't going to help too much for the draft here. But they do have a larger pack. We'll keep an eye on those lap times here as it evens out. And pretty even at the line there that last time by. We'll see what it is after a full lap at speed with the group sizes we have now. Again, this top 5 status quo since the green flag pit stop here. They did lose the 801 of Colt Cannon from this group, and Charles Johnson now about 3.7 seconds behind our leaders, so that gap is growing ever so slightly. And we'll check the lap times here. So it is a 31:04 for Gabe Butler. Charles Johnson runs a 31:26, so 0.2 of a second slower. So that gap is continuing to increase for that second pack. Again, it helped that they were able to kind of consolidate the second and third groups, though now they're not able to make that much more progress, or at least if they're chipping away a couple tenths, couple hundredths at a time, that's great. But obviously they're losing a couple tenths, especially that last time by. And we'll see, is it any different story this time? A 30:99 for Gabe Butler and a 31:11 for Charles Johnson. So another 10th loss there. There's 3/10 in the last 2 laps. That is not going to be beneficial for them to catch back up to this lead draft, as these guys are doing a phenomenal job to hold pretty steering wheels, keep it nice and tight, and yeah, they've been doing a really good job. So we'll see what this group decides here. The only 2 teammates in this pack are the 88 and the 24. The 6 obviously running for Roswell Motorsports. The 10 of Davis, that's Justin. He is typically working with Team Underdogs, and obviously cousin Hayden a little bit further on back, and then Vicente Guerrero. I can't quite, apologies if I don't quite remember the team name. Apologies, don't remember the exact team name that Vicente is working with there, but obviously doing a good job there, keeping himself up in that lead draft. He had to pit earlier than everybody else did on that green flag cycle, but he was able to catch the 10 of Justin, hold on to his draft, and the 2 of them together held on to the lead pack here. So it's going to be potentially, I would assume these guys might want to try and work together as much as possible. Really, obviously the 88 and the 24 are the only ones that are in direct communication, in a private channel, other than just keying up in iRacing. All the drivers have the ability within the iRacing program to key up to all the other drivers in the session, and the rest of them are typically doing something in Discord together, so team channels, working strategies so that they can talk together. And it's incredible to hear what these guys are doing strategizing wise, trying to figure out, all right, when do we pit, what's the best strategy here, who's taking how much fuel, Are we taking tires, left sides, right sides, all four? What's the strategy? And obviously they're all doing it while they're also racing at 180, 190 miles an hour in this truck, going 30-second laps around this 1.5 mile oval. So it happens very quickly here with about 30 laps to go, and we're going to see lap 60 starting now, so that'll actually be 31, or the start of 31 to go, and we'll be looking forward to counting down the laps soon enough, and that window to the end should be opening any second now. So the 88, the 24, the 6, the 10, and the 41. Going to be seeing when these guys are coming down pit road. It's not going to be this time, it doesn't look like. We'll see if anybody in this second pack is going to have the opportunity here, and I think everyone's going to try and go a few extra laps here. Like we mentioned before, pretty much everybody going 32, 33, 34 laps. Obviously, double that puts you around the the 66 to 68 lap range, though could change if you do have the opportunity to pit at any point now, because you know you can go the distance. Obviously, when you have multiple pit stops remaining, it is crucial to run as long as you can, though when the window is open to pit for the last time, you can obviously get away with that. You don't have to go as long, because you don't have to make any additional stops at that point. So as long as you have enough fuel, you're good to go. You may need to account for, who knows, maybe some late race cautions. Obviously the namesake of Green White Checker TV here, some late race restarts, potential to burn a little more fuel, but for now, clean and green. And the top 5 here is setting sail down the back straightaway, and we haven't seen anybody make their way down to pit road yet, but we know it should be in the next 5 laps or so that we'll start seeing that cycle happen once again, and it'll be oh so critical as always to hit your marks on the apron, especially through 3 and 4, and then on the outlap as well. And that is one thing interesting with the entrance of pit road being in turn number 3. You have a lot more time to spend on the apron and spend at at slower pace speeds, so you have to make sure you're executing as much as you possibly can. Normally you would pit off of turn number 4, but with the nature of the repave and the increased speeds, that can get very dangerous very quickly. So entering off of turn 3 for a pit road, which no one seems to be doing yet except for this final pack. Robert Rock, Gael Brooks, Bob Fitzgerald, and the 5 of Paul Turner are all going to be coming in this time by, and we'll see 76 get a big lead as he gets a really good run down the apron here. Oh, the 08 sliding a little bit there, and checking up just enough in time to not make any contact with the 171. We'll see if anybody else is going to come down pit road, and Vicente Guerrero is going to have to pit 1 lap sooner than everybody else for a second time. And looks like the 9, the 55, the 19, and the entire second pack is going to be coming in this time a little bit more organized than what we saw the first time. And now we're going to see the 88, the 24, the 6, and the 10 coming in together. And we'll keep an eye on how that all shakes it all out. Vicente Guerrero getting into his pit stall here as the third group takes off. And we'll see, looks like everybody taking 4 tires and fuel for the most part. Vicente Guerrero does take 11.75 seconds, so about 3 seconds less, so indicative of a 2-tire stop potentially, or fuel only, most likely 2-tire stop. Hard for us to tell here, guaranteed. Actually, Jack Walls stays out on the speedway for another lap, so he's going to come in this time by. Justin Davis is going to be just behind him. Then we're going to have Gabe Butler, Bud Steele, Everett Lane on pit road. So we'll see where they net out with Vicente Guerrero. He does come out about 6 seconds ahead of Charles Johnson, who is 4 seconds ahead of Dean Wilkinson, who is 0.7 seconds ahead of Hayden Davis. So Hayden should catch up to Dean here fairly quickly, though unfortunately Jonathan Ledger is 2.8 seconds back, and then Gael Brooks is another 4 seconds back to that. Paul Turner has Bob Fitzgerald, but it does not look like a lot of drivers are able to get going. And wow, look at this. The 88 of Gabe Butler, Everett Lane, and Vicente Guerrero by himself was able to come down pit road, make his pit stop without any drafting help whatsoever, and execute to a high enough level to come out with the leaders, the 88 and the 24. It will be a 3-pack, and we'll see him These three, they're going to pass Jack Walls on the apron. Jack Walls not going to have an opportunity to catch up to our leaders, and it is going to be a 3-horse race for now in the lead pack. How is it all settling out behind? Jack Walls is coming out down pit road. Justin Davis and Justin Davis and the lap truck of Eric Laurie coming down together. And looking on these pit stops here, I see Josh Previtt and Robert Rock with 40-second penalties for both of those drivers, unfortunately. And XCC Bud Steele coming down pit road, it looks like again. So potentially a pit road speeding after his box or a pit exit penalty for the 6 of Bud Steele, which will be very detrimental for his night, unfortunately. And that is going to leave 3 trucks here in this lead draft: Butler, Lane, and Guerrero. Davis, Walls, Johnson, Wilkinson, Davis, Ledger, Brooks, your top 10. Turner, Fitzgerald, Cannon, Previtt, Rock, your top 15. Followed by McCarthy, Laurie, Steele, and our only retiree, Correa, at the moment. Correa, I should say, excuse me. So as it nets out, Gabe Butler in the lead, Everett Lane, Vicente, we mentioned that already. Justin Davis is going to find that lap truck of the 071. Jack Walls is going to sneak into this group here. We still have Charles Johnson on an island by himself. Got out well ahead of Dean Wilkinson here, who does have Hayden Davis, so that group will likely catch each other and become a 3-pack. You're going to go another 4 seconds back to Jonathan Ledger, who does have the lap car of Cole Cannon with him, and then Gael Brooks in the number 76 has the lap car of Bud Steele, and it looks like Josh Previtt just ahead of them. Paul Turner is 1.7 seconds behind that with Bob Fitzgerald. I know we've been going through the field a couple times here in a row, but just trying to get an idea of where everyone's at, not just to tell you guys, but also so I know, because it's tough when these green flag pit cycles happen to where so many things can change, and it looks like the 6 and the 76 are going to find the 81 for now and make that a pack of 3. So we've got pack of 3 here. Going back to Charles Johnson, pack of 3, and Jonathan Ledger, pack of 2. Gael Brooks, pack of 3. Paul Turner, pack of 2. And then Cole Cannon in the previously mentioned group with the 28 of Ledger. So Previtt's going to, actually get out of the way, and actually he's going to make contact with the outside wall, and it looks like he's hung on to it for just a second there, and he's lost a lot of speed. And hopefully he can get back going with the 5 and the 08, though there's a big difference in speed. That 81 is going to be slow for a couple laps, unfortunately. That is doing more damage to his night and potentially to the right side of that truck. As we come back to our leaders, we do see Austin McCarthy going, should be 2 laps down now, though he does have the opportunity to hold on to this draft. Austin, one of those ones who got caught up with a pit road penalty on the first green flag cycle here and puts himself in a hole for the rest of the night. He's going to have to count on something to happen out on track other than a green flag condition, though the 88 of Gabe Butler is saying, honestly, I'm okay with it. I don't need it. Let's just go the rest of this way. Get me a race win. He does have a teammate behind him in Everett Lane. Vicente Guerrero is going to do everything he can and try to pass both of these drivers, though it's going to be a tall task for him to get to that race lead when you know that 24 is going to be so committed to the rear bumper of his teammate there. Obviously, Team Bootnaka has worked well in so many years of racing here at Area 51, always committing to the teammate and always doing what they can to get the race win for the group. And Vicente is no stranger to that as well. Obviously, he's had some really great runs with some great teammates as well. Running solo for tonight, unfortunately, but in really great shape and showing that he knows how to get it done, even if he doesn't have too many partners out on the dance floor here. These guys are going to pick up Robert Rock, though, and that is going to be a 5th truck that will be in this lead pack. So again, it's just the 3 leaders, your top 3 podium positions, will be settled in this group here, on barring any large changes to, the condition being green flag and to anything else happening on with this lead pack. Really, it's at this point it's their race to lose for the 88, the 24, or the 41. Definitely have to give the advantage to the 88 and the 24 again, because the teammates do have each other to be linked up, and then Guerrero will be, I'm sure, more than happy to get a solid finish here tonight. but he's going to try everything he can. He can, there are some tools in the toolbox as a single truck that you can make, even with a drafting pack ahead of you, to try and, gain as much possession, as much ground as possible. I would be fairly shocked if he didn't have even a remote chance of trying to finish at least in the second position, knowing his expertise and level of experience here, though it'll be a tall task, as we've mentioned. So going back through just once more through the field, we'll talk about Justin Davis here, Jack Walls, and Eric Laurie, obviously the lap truck in this group, but these guys are going to be duking it out for the remaining top 5 positions. Charles Johnson found the 55 and the 19, and I don't think that anybody's really increased their group size at all. Really just 2 and 3 truck battles throughout the field. We're looking at Paul Turner, Bob Fitzgerald here. Cole Cannon has the 28s of Ledger. Rock is still holding on to that lead lap. And actually, this is a battle per position for the 171 and the 99, though obviously they know that there's a little more at stake going on in this lead pack, so they're just kind of hanging out, saying, hey, you guys race it out. We'll be here. We're just going to grab the popcorn and watch this to the finish. And, if anything comes out, there's really nothing that they can do. Obviously, now that they're 2 laps down, they're not really vying for a lucky dog position or anything like that, unfortunately. Cole Cannon would be the candidate for that at the moment. Jonathan Ledger is on the tail end of the lead lap, though, so if these guys do go a lap down, obviously Cole will be 2, and that will put him in a bigger hole. But for now, Cole Cannon should be first truck 1 lap down. Fitzgerald actually is the last truck on the lead lap here, working with Paul Turner. This battle is for position as well. And for the last 10 laps or so, we'll settle in on these leaders and see what they can do to bring her home. Again, looking at the 171 and the 99, probably not going to see too much out of those drivers. They don't really have any teammates up in this group here, so really nothing for them to work for. Not that obviously, not that they have anything against who's ahead of them, but there's no real incentive for them to push one or the other. So typically at that point it is easier to kind of stay out of it. I mean, obviously, maybe you do have some friends or some other, team-to-team alliances, but for the most part, they're being fairly respectful, just hanging out a truck or 2 lengths back, and not really, obviously they would have the opportunity if they wanted to get up in the mix and try to run to the high side. But we are at 9 laps to go, and again, through pit cycles under green, the 88, the 24, and the 41 have had their chance to put a large gap on the field. They've got about 6 seconds over Justin Davis there in that number 10 Dodge Ram, back in 4th position. And quite a few trucks going a lap down or 2 laps down due to pit road speeding penalties, pit entry, pit exit penalties, and just having a bit of a tough night. I think we've actually seen 5 pit road penalties, all 5 different drivers. Robert Rock, obviously, as well as Bud Steele from the previous caution, or sorry, I keep saying that, from the most recent green flag pit cycle. We saw issues for McCarthy and Laurie, and I think also Cole Cannon from that first cycle. And looking at the timing and scoring, we do actually see Josh Previtt is on pit road. He's had an extended pit time now, so it looks like he is going to be he entered pit lane and then jumped to pits, so looks like he is going to be our second retiree for the night. 7 laps to go, though. You see that bar at the top of the screen just above the lap count, just below the Area 51 logo. It's been green the whole way, no yellow so far, and we'll see if we can close this out. This pack is the largest on track. No truck pack larger than 3 or 2 for the rest of the entirety of the speedway. And we are clicking down those laps led. The 24 ever so patient behind Gabe Butler. Gabe Butler has led this race from the conclusion of the first green flag pit cycle all the way to now, and that should be enough to cement himself for the bonus points for the most laps led. At this point, Everett Lane could jump up there and get a chance to grab that point, though it is going to be much safer for them to stay nose to tail and try to get that 88 to victory lane, because we know how hungry Vicente Guerrero is going to be to get a win. He's going to capitalize on any mistake that the 88 and the 24 make ahead of them. And while it's going to be tough, like we mentioned, for the 41 as a single car or single truck team tonight to make any headway, he still has plenty of tricks up his sleeve, tools in the toolbox to try and make something happen, and we'll see what he can do as it gets down to 4 laps to go. 88-24 still leading. It'll be interesting to see when the 41 makes his move. He's had a lot of time here during this final green flag stint to kind of plan out what he wants to try and do. Hasn't really had a chance to try and execute anything or make any moves. Obviously at this point probably safer to just stay in line. You don't really want to give your hand away early. So he's going to try and make his move, whatever he thinks is the most beneficial for himself here at some point in the last couple laps here. We'll see if it comes anytime soon or if he's going to wait to the last second. But for now, it is the 88 being pushed by teammate Everett Lane and clicking off more and more laps led. There'll be 2 to go as they cross the stripe the next time by. Then it will be the white flag in hand and waving soon enough, as we come to the final conclusions here at Echo Park Speedway on this Thursday night. Through turns 1 and 2, with 2 laps to go. When does the 41 make his move? Is it coming this lap? Is it coming next lap? He is a little bit further off the back bumper of the 24, getting a good run down the back straightaway. 24 is pushing all that he can on the back bumper of the 88. There is going to be a little bit of a draft from some lap cars in there. You see the 41. He's going to stick his nose to the outside here. He's going to get side by side with the 24. A big run off of turn number 4, and the 24 and the 88 are really disconnected at this point. The 24 gets the advantage through turns 1 and 2, taking the shorter distance around the speedway. The 88 is going to have a chance to be able to block the 44 up high, but I think he's just going to stay on the bottom, commit to that 24, and the 41 has a good chance at second place. Does he have enough to get back to second or first? It doesn't seem like it. The 24 prevails on the bottom. Gabe Butler is going to pull ahead. It'll be a drag race to the line for P2. Gabe Butler takes the win, though. As we surmised earlier, was going to be a battle for the 41 to try and get to that second position, though Gabe Butler holds his ground and gets that race win. A great opportunity for that number 88 Guinness Chevrolet to come home victorious here tonight at Echo Park Speedway. Take a second here just to get organized and get ready to finish the interviews for tonight. We'll go through the final order here just before we do that and pull up your race results and talk through them here. Gabe Butler for Team Bootnaka Esports, he is going to grab that race win. Vicente Guerrero coming home in that second position in that number 41 Chevrolet. Listed as No Presta Esports there for him. Solid podium finish as a single car team for tonight. Everett Lane, Team Bootnaka, great execution for him. Solid night all night long, and comes home in that third position there. Justin Davis and Jack Walls should be very proud of their opportunities for tonight as well, hanging on to that second pack, falling off of the leaders, but still having an opportunity to finish well within that top 5. We saw Charles Johnson, Dean Wilkinson, Hayden Davis working together quite a bit of the night and doing what they can, coming home about 10 seconds behind our leaders, but just not able to execute quite as well on the green flag pit cycles there You'll have to go back to Gael Brooks and Jonathan Ledger as well, as they are going to finish about 22 seconds off the lead, and they're going to finish out that top 10. And then followed by Paul Turner and Bob Fitzgerald, about almost a lap down, but 28 seconds behind the leaders at the finish there. The rest of our drivers having some issues of some form throughout the night. Cole Cannon going to be the first car and the only car one lap down. Robert Rock mentioned speeding penalty for him, as well as Austin McCarthy, as well as Eric Laurie and Bud Steele. And we saw Josh Previtt come home early, parked it 15 laps before the completion of the race. And then the final driver of the night, Alex Correa, parked it just before the halfway point for the evening. So you can see a beautiful winning celebration there for Gabe Butler. And we're going to get back to some interviews in just a second. Bring up the rest of our podium here. And you can see Gabe Butler at the top there, Vicente Guerrero and Everett Lane. So we'll go in reverse order and keep an eye on those guys. And we'll bring them into the booth, starting with that 24 of Everett Lane. Solid effort for you tonight, Everett. You had an opportunity to stay there with Gabe Butler pretty much all night long. You guys were obviously some of the best at executing pit stops. By the time you got through the first cycle, you guys were, a pack of 5 or 6 trucks, then a pack of 3 all the way to the end. So take us through some of that race-winning execution that your team had there tonight.
Yeah, Boomer, we wanted to make sure we got our pit stops nailed tonight, because this track, if there's no caution, you better be able to hit your pit stops pretty good. Usually that'll get you out pretty far if you can hit a good pit stop here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you guys have proved that time and time again at the Super Speedways, and once again tonight. Take us back once you get out of the pits the second time. We saw Vicente come down a lap or two earlier than you guys, but came out with you able to draft up and stay in that pack. You saw him kind of being pretty patient. You were at some point, I'm sure, expecting him to make a move. Did it happen when you were expecting, and did you have anything that you could have done to try and block him to keep him from messing up that 1-2 finish for you guys?
Yeah, when we came out of that, I think it was the second pit stop, we came out and I seen him there. He was coming up. He slowed down, let me up in front of Gabe. So I knew he was there the whole time. I could have pulled up in front of him to throw the block on him there, but I was going to stay with Gabe as long as I could to get him up there, get him that win. He did some pretty good side drafting there and got by me. I just had a joke with him there while we were in waiting room. I told him he can change his truck number to 65. He was doing some pretty good side drafting there.
Yeah, indeed, definitely looked like you guys were having fun, and obviously, still a great execution. Obviously, Vicente got in between the two of you there, but I mean, you guys were there, pretty good execution all night long, and yeah, I mean, it's definitely got to feel good. I know, obviously, Gabe's said before that he's got to help you get to some of these victory lanes more often. I mean, at this point, he's got to owe you a few, with you pushing him to a few wins now.
Yeah, well, you got, if you want to race with the best and beat the best, you got to get in front of the best. And I haven't succeeded in that yet, but we got a long season here and some other places where we race. I'll try to get out in front of him, and I'm sure he'll do the same for me.
Absolutely. Well, obviously you got quite a truck there that you're behind pushing, and definitely you guys are class of the field to be up there working together. So, congratulations to you. A solid 1-3 finish for the team. And yeah, we'll roll that red carpet out for you for any thanks or shoutouts for that P3 tonight, Everett.
I want to thank you, Boomer, for up there for broadcasting for every green, white checker. You do such a great job there with Gael. I think Gael was in the race tonight.
Yeah.
So that's good for Gael to get out and turn some laps with us. That's awesome. I want to thank Eric, my teammate, and Gabe, my teammate, for the boot knockers. We did a pretty good show for him tonight.
Absolutely, yeah. You guys dominant all night long and came home with a pretty solid finish. So congratulations once again, Everett.
All right, Boomer. Thank you, buddy. You have a good night.
You as well. Thank you. Alrighty. Next one up is going to be the number 41 of Vicente Guerrero, bringing him up into the broadcast booth. And you guys had a really great opportunity. We talked to Everett, and the three of you were pretty solid all night long. Obviously, after the first cycle, there was I think only 5 trucks in contention for the race win, and 2 more dropped after that second green flag pit stop. Take us through what it took to get that execution done in order to stay with those lead pack guys there.
Yeah, just I led a handful of laps early, and I had to put myself into the pits. I think a lap or two earlier than everybody else, which was fine because I could get in there pretty good and not worry about getting you know um, maybe touched or something on pit entrance, and so it was kind of nice having that free lane inside of pits. So the second go around, I just stayed in the pack. I think had like a 10-car breakaway. I forget. Um, and I was just trying to save some fuel. I actually got behind, I think, Justin Davis
Yeah,
there, and I gave him a little boost to see if we could catch up to those leaders. Um, so we caught up to those leaders, and the last go around, I pitted again early because I was trying to save, but I still didn't. They had obviously a lap or two earlier than I do.
yeah.
So if I could just come out and come into pits, take as minimal as what I needed to take. I took a chance and only took rights, and I think I took like 10-2 on fuel just to be right there, uh, catching the leaders. So luckily, I think they pitted the next lap after I pitted, and I was coming really quick with Gabe and Everett, and everybody else was a little bit ways back, and I just checked up a little bit and gave Everett a little nudge there and stuck with them. I knew that if we could stick in line and get the momentum coming off the pit road right there, we could probably break away from those other two drivers, and we did.
Yeah, no, that was honestly, I think the one thing I want to highlight the most is just the fact that, obviously the first time by, I think you pit on lap 31, most pit at 32, 33, and some came at 34, yet you were still able to come back around. Obviously, you mentioned, you hooked up with Justin there for a little bit to catch back up to the leaders, but that's got to be so nerve-wracking to be, a single car team without any teammates. Obviously, leading the first bit of the race under green flag conditions, burning the most fuel, puts you behind the 8 ball a little bit, but incredible to see how you were able to overcome and continue to stay up with those leaders under both green flag pit conditions.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you really have to work at it. Trust me. I mean, I was nervous coming into pit road. Any little mistake you make, and it'll cost you time. Like even a penalty. If I get a penalty, there goes my race because obviously it went green the whole night tonight. But just trying to hit your marks coming in pit road, off exit, and just execute and stick with the fast guys up there and maybe have a chance at the end. Obviously, I didn't have a chance, but yeah, but at least I locked out a podium.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, I've had the chance to work a little side draft on Everett there, some good, clean side by side racing. And I had a feeling that you were going to have a chance to at least get to second. I didn't know if you're going to be able to challenge for first. But yeah, take us through the move you made there at the end to at least get up to that P2 position.
Yeah, coming to that white flag, I think I started making the move before we went to the white flag on the entrance of turn 3 or mid 3 and 4. Because I knew I was gonna need probably a lap to even have a chance to even get anywhere close to Gabe. But yeah, I managed to get, second from a lot of hard side drafting with Everett. I just wanted to make sure we didn't make any contact and cause any net code because, it would cost us a podium, the race, and stuff like that. So I just try to stay as clean as I can with him and with Gabe.
Well, definitely solid execution for you all night long. I'm glad to see you get a chance to showcase your talents here at Area 51 on this Thursday night, and we'll roll that red carpet out for any thanks or shoutouts you'd like to give for that second place finish.
Thanks, Boomer. I want to thank you for broadcasting. Can't wait to watch this one back. I really want to thank Area 51 and all the admins for what they do. My folks out in Arizona, love you guys. My parents, my mom, dad, my aunts and uncles out there. Also want to thank my wife for letting me do what I do here, my family, and Team Napresta. I want to thank my team. And another thing, Boomer, is I wanted to let you guys know that this might be my last race here for this season
Okay.
because I actually volunteered to be a coach for my son's soccer. So it's just life things that
Yeah.
I hate to give up the rest of the season, but uh, I they needed a coach, so I just stepped up and this would be the first time I'll ever do a coaching deal for a little kid. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, well, congratulations, Coach. Looking forward to maybe hearing how that goes for you guys. And obviously, family always comes first. So definitely we'll miss seeing you out on track, showing these guys what it takes to be a good racer. But I think you definitely done yourself proud with the finish tonight, and can hang your hat there on that. And good luck with the season, Coach.
Yeah, thank you, Boomer.
Awesome. Well, congrats, and we'll talk to you soon, bud. Take care.
All right, see ya. You too.
Alrighty, that means there is one more guy we got to talk to here, and that is going to be the 88 of Gabe Butler, coming through tonight victorious after really clean green flag pit cycles. Obviously, we've talked to Vicente and Everett about those pit cycles. You had a chance to get ahead after the first one, stayed ahead after the second one, and it seemed like it was pretty smooth sailing from there.
Yeah, it was actually. It was a pretty uneventful race. Yeah, I think myself, Everett, and Vince had the best pit stops in the end. I think other guys must have either made mistakes or got some penalties or something because we got so far ahead, and Vince did a hell of a job hanging on to myself and Everett there. I know he was a little bit behind, but and he had to make a decision on tires, and he did. And I don't know how he was able to manage it, but he did a hell of a job. And of course, Everett did a fantastic job pushing me again.
Yeah, I know. We were looking at the penalties. I think there were five different pit road speeding penalties at different times. I know obviously Eric had one at one point, which you would know about. Austin McCarthy, Robert Rock, and then on the last cycle, Bud Steele had one as well, which took him away from that pack. So definitely, I mean, we've talked about it. It seems like it gets annoying. It's like a broken record, but we talk about it so much on the broadcast how important these pit stops are. It seems like that's something that is. Obviously, we're running more of an oval series, but we're still throwing in some of the super speedway stuff here and there on this season for Thursdays. But how important, can you speak to how important it is to continue to practice that pit entry, especially in this style of racing?
Oh yeah, I mean you just can't afford to make any mistakes. And then with the super speedway, I mean you still got to practice your pit stops, but I mean obviously with the change in tracks on the Thursday night series is going to be interesting because you have such a variety of tracks and pit entrances. You really need to get into practice and get that down first, and then work on your line for the race after that. Because as you well know, you make a mistake in pit road, especially at a short track like this. It's unless there's a caution, it's kind of over for you.
Yeah, when pit road speeding penalties are 40 seconds and the lap times are 30 to 31 seconds, that's definitely very detrimental indeed. So I tried to bait Everett a little bit. Obviously, we've seen him push you to a few victories here lately, and try to see if he'd own up to yeah, you owing him a few, but he was obviously very kind and courteous about it. And I know you probably are looking forward to getting a chance to get him into victory lane after all the success so far this season you've had with him on your rear bumper there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it really didn't come up in the conversation because Vince was sitting back there. So if we decided to do something and we screwed it up, it might have cost both of us. But yeah, it never really came up in the course of the conversation. But I will say this though, I definitely owe Everett 3 or 4 pushes to wherever I can get him to, and hopefully a win on Sunday night and Thursday night somewhere. So yeah, I definitely owe him a huge debt of gratitude there for that.
Yeah, indeed. I know. Obviously, we saw Vicente kind of peak out and make his move. Had a feeling that he'd maybe have a chance to get to Everett. Didn't think, with Everett's commitment to you, that he'd have a chance to get any further than that, and that was obviously the case. But how do you get it kind of game plan? I know there's not a lot of trucks in the draft, but you know that you and the 24 kind of have to get continue to work together. But are you able to game plan a little bit as far as how you can protect Vicente, beyond obviously what you talked about with not swapping positions to try and get the 24 a win? Is there anything that you can do to kind of protect yourselves from him gaining any further advantage?
both. Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah, sorry. We should have probably went to the outside there or went a little bit high and forced Vicente to go on the inside with his right side tires. He might have got a little bit tight, but we didn't do that. So next time we'll know, probably make a better decision in that regard.
Yeah, well, nonetheless, I mean, still a really solid effort for both you and Everett. Near textbook on the pit cycles for you guys tonight, and definitely a hard-earned victory once again in the series here. So we'll give you that red carpet rollout. Any opportunity for thanks or shout-outs for that race win tonight?
Yeah, big shout out to yourself, Boomer, for taking on the broadcast tonight, and of course Area 51 and all the admins, Team Boot Aqua, and it was myself, Eric, and Everett, obviously. Eric had a bit of an unfortunate pit stop penalty, and all the drivers that came out tonight, and everybody looking at the broadcast. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely, Gabe. Well, congratulations once again, and we'll be talking to you soon, man.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
Alrighty, that'll do it for the race for tonight and for our interviews. Again, a very solid execution. I mean, everyone on this podium well deserved for tonight. Solid efforts for a lot of the guys in the top five, and pit road execution, penalties. It was really the talk of the town for the broadcast here tonight. Those who executed at a high level were the ones who were able to come home with some hardware and get the job done here tonight. But absolutely fun to get a chance to watch these guys here on Thursday nights. And there's still plenty of action left to go here in the schedule for Thursdays. Again, it's more of an oval series. We're doing just a variety of oval tracks instead of just the Super Speedway stuff. Obviously, we had Echo Park or Atlanta Motor Speedway here tonight. Next week on the 27th, we're going to be going to Homestead Miami Speedway, my absolute favorite racetrack in iRacing to race on. That is going to be one you are not going to want to miss. There's so many lanes at that track that you can make work. You can run the bottom, you can run a lane off the bottom, you can run the middle, you can run the top. There's just so many opportunities, and the way the track changes throughout the night is going to be so much fun to get to watch there. And following that, there'll be a week off. Then we'll go to Indianapolis on the 10th of September, a very infamous, very historic oval, and a different skill set for these truck drivers to try and manage there before we go back to Kansas a week later, and then Las Vegas to finish out September. Michigan will be on the 8th of October, so a week off in between Vegas and Michigan for races 9 and 10. We should be starting the playoffs at that time, which will be the first race in Pocono on 10/15. We'll go to Daytona on the 22nd of October, and then we'll take a week off and be back at Texas on the 12th of November, finishing the season at Nashville Super Speedway on the 19th. And again, that's going to be a lot of fun to watch these guys do battle, changing it up a little bit, getting a chance to go to more of the traditional ovals instead of just the super speedways. So a lot of fun to watch, and definitely a different skill set to get a chance to experience. Back on just the super speedway side of things, obviously Sundays we still are rocking and rolling. They are going to be at Talladega here in just 3 days. So on 8/23, Atlanta will be the 30th of August here before a week off, and going to Daytona, Talladega, Atlanta in consecutive weeks. Back to Daytona again on the 11th of October, and that should start the playoffs there the 18th of October with iRacing Super Speedway, followed by Atlanta the following week, a week off. Then we'll go to Daytona on 11/15, and Talladega will finish it out on November 22nd. So plenty of action as we are just getting through the first couple races here on Thursdays and on Sundays. Do not forget, though, Tuesdays, our IndyCar series still alive and well, going strong. They are working with P1 Broadcasting, who have been so kind to us to take that off of our plate and help us out a little bit more. So you'll definitely want to make sure to head on over there. Again, P1 Broadcasting, that is on Tuesday nights for the Area 51 IndyCar Series that has been around for so long, and it looks like we're going to see those guys back on track on the 25th at the Legacy Phoenix Oval. So no paved dogleg, the traditional old school back straightaway with grass in the infield, and the basically the the previous configuration. So that'll be a lot of fun to watch. They're going to be going to Las Vegas there on September 15th, September 22nd, they'll be at Pocono. October 6th is the Indy Road Course. October 20th is going to be the Twin Ring Motegi Oval. And I guess I'm assuming oval. I don't think it's listed as a road course. So, but either way, Motegi, a couple different track configurations, but the oval, a lot of fun to race on indeed. October 27th, they're going to go to Texas Motor Speedway. Then they'll have the Milwaukee Mile on November 10th. November 17th is going to be Indianapolis, the famed Brickyard, especially for IndyCar racing. Always great to get a chance to go back there. On December 1st, they're going to go to Atlanta, the old configuration from 2008. So not the one that you got to see tonight, but the old school oval there at Atlanta with the lower banking, old school gritty surface. That's going to be a really great race to watch with those Indy cars. And they're going to finish their season out at Gateway on December 15th. So again, please show some love to our friends over at P1 Broadcasting. They've done so much for us to help us out here at Area 51 and take some off of our plate for Green White Checker TV. And we appreciate those guys oh so much. So without further ado, I'll stop gabbing. I'll let you guys go. Appreciate everybody who is watching live or anybody who has been coming back through to watch this on a replay. I know a lot of the drivers do. We appreciate all that support. Obviously, we're here for you guys. We do this for you guys, and we have so much fun doing it. And I can't think of a more appreciative group of people to do this for. So, thank you all for all of your support and all your love. We definitely feel very appreciated here from my boss, Gael Brooks. Obviously, maybe not the night that he was looking to have, but got behind the 8-ball after that first green flag cycle. Still come home with a solid top 10. So, got to give props to the boss man, Gael Brooks. Appreciate him jumping in at the very beginning and saying hi as well. But a lot of fun. Always appreciate being here. And check us out. Obviously, we got the schedule there for you for Thursdays, Sundays, and then over on P1 on Tuesdays. So be sure to check back in when we're on track in the future. And for now, we'll say thank you. Appreciate you guys joining in. Hope you have a great week. And before we sign off, I got to give a special shout out to my beautiful wife. We are expecting our first child, and by the time you hear from me again, I will be a father for the first time, most likely. So appreciate her and everything she's done to help grow our family here, and we'll be looking forward to rejoining the ranks here at Green White Checker TV as a dad for the first time. So appreciate everybody, and hope you all have a wonderful night. Take care and stay safe.